All right, Shalom. For the record, I'm giving them, as an answer, I'm giving them, once again, a declaration of notice of cease and desist and refusal of contract of non-agreement. By spiritual man and chosen name, Nikas Elagi Yakadesh in proper English spelling, executor, secure party creditor, and interest holder over the estate name, Anthony Madrus Pooler the Senior in proper English spelling. For the record, date today. I am addressing this fraudulent case. I'm addressing this fraudulent case in order to order a cease and desist notice to your court system, and I also notify you and your fraudulent system that I overstand your fraudulent attempt to entrap me, the spiritual man, by your devilish actions and bad faith to rob me of my inalienable rights and freedom. I object to your claims of legal fiction, and I also hold your court and personnel in contempt with the intent to injure me and charge me falsely and defame the character of the good name I was given by my natural mother. I overstand your fraudulent actions in good faith to honor the entire name I choose to utilize. I serve notice that the name Anthony Madrus Pooler, as given to me by my mother and father in proper capacity, is a good name, that you have shown evidence against yourselves by attempting to steal my freedom, and because I am not ignorant to your bad faith actions, I serve a counterclaim against you and all your de facto agents, including, I don't really want to do this, but I got to, because this is the side that brought this fraudulent attempt to injure me, so I have no choice but to use that name, because that's the name that's attacking me, including Annalie Salida Cantley Brinkley. You have shown and proven your bad faith intentions by using legal fiction characters to bring a false accusation against the given name Anthony Madrus Pooler Senior in all proper English spelling, by using legal fictions and accusations against this spiritual man through your deceptions and fraudulent actions as evident on your own paperwork. I have stated, and I state again, that I choose not to contract with your system, and I insist you and your de facto system and agents continue harassing and acting in injurious actions against me. I overstand your bad faith actions, and I serve you notice I will not be held responsible under your color of law and color of authority. I do not give you permission to harass, kidnap, imprison, or hold under your authority of color of jurisdiction. I show because that I am not of the description that you have fraudulently declassified me as part of the black race. That's what they got. That's what that's on their form says, the black race. There is no such thing. Be advised that I have continually notified your system that I am of the nation, Hebrew Israelite of the tribe of Yehuda, and concerning the land of Turtle Island, North America, I am the Aboriginal people called Ashita Washita, Indians by heritage. I demand you understand me. I also serve, and for the record, I am not part of any religious group, organization, or any such thing. I am not part of any terrorist organizations. I'm standing in truth under the power of the Almighty Elohim Yah. I show because that I am not of the description that you have fraudulently classified me as part of being the black race, part of the black race. There's no such thing. Be advised that I have continuously notified your system that I am of the nation of Hebrew Israelite of the tribe of Yehuda, and concerning the land of Turtle Island, North America, I am of Aboriginal people called Ashita Washita, Indians by heritage. I demand you understand me. I also serve Annalie Salida Cantley Brinkley and all of her persons and the agents of the legal fiction notice of restraining order to stay away and keep off my private property and cease from its bad faith actions of to cause me harm and paper trail of illegal and unlawful slavery practices. I am a living man and serve you notice I will not be present in your legal fiction called a courtroom. Also, I have served you notice previously that I am not, nor have I ever been married to Annalie S. Pooler, not even the name that's even on your fraudulent marriage license, or any of its legal fiction strawman characters. Failure of full disclosure to disclose his marriage license was done in bad faith to entrap the spiritual and living man in the land of fiction through personating him through the legal fiction of the state name under the color of law. Also, it does not disclose the fact of his bad faith actions to create itself the head of a three-party relationship contract, where it takes claim of the head of the relationship as the primary party, and the other two legal fictions in the action becomes in servitude to the corporate state. This is indeed a violation, entrapment of deception and injuries. I once again confirm I was not given full disclosure, this man was not given full disclosure that this was taking place, and I declare once again that I, the spiritual and living man, was never married. The fraud is that I was deceived through bad faith action of the state, that I was accepting responsibility for a legal fiction I had no understanding that was actually taking place. Therefore, through knowledge and their own admission, the marriage of people never took place. The de facto system has provided evidence of its own bad faith actions by continuous action and evidence of fraud against itself. Bouvier's Law Dictionary, Volume 2, Revised 6th edition, 1856. Law. When applied to objects, it is civil, criminal, and penal. I object to this defamation of character, being I am a spiritual man and living man. Bouvier's Law Dictionary, Volume 1, the Revised 6th edition, 1856. Abandonment. Malicious. The act of a husband or wife who leaves his or her consort willfully and with an intention of causing perpetual separation. 2. Such abandonment, when it is continued the length of time required by the local status, I'm not under their status, this is for them though, is sufficient cause for a divorce. So this so-called de facto marriage never took place because it was null and void from the onset, because they knew they were doing fraudulent, malicious things of injury towards me, the living spiritual man, in trying to deceive me into believing that I am responsible for their illegal activity of fraud through legal fiction and color of law, which I object to, and I will not be responsible for that. They're going to be held responsible for their illegal actions and unlawful actions. They provided evidence against themselves in their own paperwork, because Yah has allowed me to overstand their system and to give me understanding of His wisdom. Thank you, Abba Yah. Such abandonment, when it has continued the length of time required by the local status, is sufficient cause for divorce. Vibe 1, Hoff, R. 47, divorce. Note, I am a spiritual man in proper capacity. I clearly tell you who I am. I do not need your permission otherwise unless I choose to contract with you. However, I do not choose to contract with you in this matter. The law definitions are for you to comply with for your records. I do not live within the jurisdiction of the United States of the District of Columbia, termed the United States, U.S., on paper titled the United States Company, bankrupt since 1933 as a foreign corporation. I live without the U.S. Respectfully, as noted, I reserve the right to interact with the U.S. for commerce purposes, going in and out at my leisure. I shall not be detained, harassed, arrested, kidnapped, or defrauded, etc. out of anything that is mine, including my heritage, adult children, and their children. We shall remain free. Rule 902, evidence that is self-authenticated. Foreign public documents. A. Order that it be treated as presumptively authentic without final certification, or B. Allow it to be evidenced by an attested summary with or without final certification. Now, I've created my own stamps, and this is just for status purposes. Inside of the U.S., inside of the U.S. to operate and go through it over their waters, the vessel. That vessel, I have declared Anthony Sr., Californian, national status of that person, free white person. So I operate at the top of the class in their legal fiction. But that is not me. You're looking at me, but that's just the status of operation when I'm operating inside of the U.S. But I live without the U.S., being a free sovereign man in my proper capacity. Now, in my proper capacity, I choose to be called Nigis Elagi Yakadesh. And I give authorization for discharge, set off of all debt of that the U.S. is responsible for when I operate in their legal fiction. And because as you see, they operate in fraud, I do the best I can to allow them to discharge all debt that they're responsible for. And then, as you've noticed, a lot of time they try to hold you into their jurisdiction by refusing to do what is right. But at least I notify them that it's my intent in good faith to do what's right and discharge their debt. Even the fiat notes that they give, when I use them, those stamps that I was showing you and authorize them to discharge those stamps, so I can be held responsible for them. So even those who choose not to operate according to what their own U.S. Constitution says, nothing but gold and silver coins shall be used for payment of debt. Since they don't give out gold and silver coin, that's why I stamp it, sign off on it, and discharge it. Now, I've done my part. It's up to them to be honorable at that point. And we see they not. But when they do act honorably, I get on YouTube and I'd say, they've done some honorable things. And I don't, because that's just the honorable people that's inside that system doing what's right. The system ain't right. But I'm honor the people that deserve honor. So that's why I report when they do honorable things. So then here, as you see, this is how I signed off on this document. My autograph, nationality, Hebrew Israelite, tribe of Yehuda, American, Ashita Washita, Indian, Aboriginal people, all rights reserved, without prejudice, without U.S. Okay, let me move on to part 3.